Hello, lovely internet people. Or just hello to the internet at large. So many emotions when you find yourself doing a new thing. Okay, I gotta mute myself. There we go. Happy Monday well, it is not morning. It is almost 7:30 on the East Coast of the United States, wherever you might be from. How is your Monday going? What is the whole Monday routine for you? Now, our relationship with time and this whole theme, I've been wanting to incorporate this idea, this inspirational idea, and I hope that it's inspirational, of creating your own romantic renaissance. Romance can be whatever you want it to be. Like, it can be Edgar Allan Poe, dark romance, getting into the feels of life, of the slings and arrows of what you do, what you tell yourself you should do, all of that good stuff. Romance can also be all of the affection, it can be adoration, it can be the fairy tale stuff, and finding your own way of what do you want? What do you want in all of this? In terms of law of attraction, which is the whole place, is a better way to describe that. Law of attraction studies the secret stuff when that started coming out. Rhonda Bryn, believe that's how you say her name, came out with The Secret, and the whole you can create your own life intentionally. That was very, very attractive to me. Now it's been over 10 years, 10, 15 years since I've come across that work, and I've become a coach myself, and I work with both clients, I work with other coaches as well, and building tools and practices that they love, and coaches becoming better coaches, feeling more comfortable with their skills, as well as clients for the sake of what this is like, to have a better experience through the whole thing. So coaches and, like, from both sides of the equation, having a better experience. So rebirth, I would say this is always relevant. The rebirth, or every day is a new day, obviously. Yes. Every day is a new chance to discover yourself on a deeper level. Now, if you are into other philosophies, you know what? I don't think, was I able to? I'm streaming from a new from a new from a new place. I another fellow nerd recommended that I try Restream, so you may see this. You may see the watermarks. I'm streaming from both Zoom as well as Restream, so this will likely be showing up. It's telling me that it will show up on YouTube as well as on Twitch. And since I am maybe at some point in the future, Restream.io, read and reply to messages from multiple platforms here. Okay. Oh, how exciting. Enable chat channels here. Let's see if that worked. Did that work? Show, hide, show. Social comments display here. Click on them to showcase on the stream. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know that did anything. But, okay. Finding your own romantic renaissance is allowing yourself to be reborn as many times as it's necessary. You know, that feeling renewed experience. Now, what I was going to say with the whole life philosophy thing, and I think I may have to sneeze here in a second, it's pretty popular to have like a Buddha statue or different deity figures. You can see mine in the background here. I've got Mary, Venus, and Hathor, as well as on this other side there's Freya, and it's my little goddess circle, my intimate goddess circle. So what with the whole Buddha, with your own, with these deity statues, with these reminders of these enlightened masters or ascended masters. Something that stood out to me fairly recently from different Buddhas and different quotes from Buddhas is essentially that it's the same guy, and yet he shares that it's an entirely different experience. And I see this now, that each mudra, each position that you see him in, it's got a different name. There's a different energy. There's a different intention with that. And while I know that I grew up, a Western white woman in the Midwest, which definitely does make a difference, and I'd love to talk about where you are in the world, geography wise, and in the United States as well, having traveled around. So this makes a difference. This energy makes a difference. And I don't think I mean, it's a nice inspirational quote to say, oh, I'm a different person than I was yesterday. And we say this and we're like, yes, this is true to some degree. Maybe you not at all, maybe you more so here. But this whole concept, I'm not the same person I was this morning as I was eating my breakfast. I was not the same person I was when I had that conversation. I am not the same person I was when I was commuting home from work. Whatever this is, and maybe this will help you, maybe it won't, and my invitation to you is to try it out. Try it out. Take this phraseology, just stick it in your back pocket, and I mean, just have it handy on you as who am I in this moment? Am I experiencing this moment? Getting present into the moment, which is a matter of being in and with your senses, touching objects, feeling the temperature around you, noticing how air flows into your lungs, through your nasal passageways, in through your belly, in through your system, and then back out again, how the air touches you, how you walk through life, how you walk through your day. All of these elements they combine together to create your experience. So yes, the person you were last night going to bed isn't going to be the same person that goes to bed tonight. Or our relationship with time. This is we talk about wanting change, or I could talk about it this way. If you find yourself complaining, and with life coaching, with coaching in general, can be a tricky place to dive into. But if you find yourself complaining, you can go down a path of, obliviousness and just continue to complain. Or another option that you have is to self-awareness, become more aware that there's something disturbing you. You can get excited about that. I've got a complaint. I've got a problem. I've got something that is taking up all my attention. Now, it really doesn't have to be a bad thing. And yet it is kind of a process of figuring things out, of how you want to relate and get intimate with what goes on in your world. Okay, if you have, then great. If you haven't, I'm going to share. So there's I believe it was Alan Watts, and in a piece that someone clipped out and made into they made it into more of like a lo-fi piece. This is just totally my jam. I love to listen to lo-fi music with just bits and pieces of different motivational or inspirational philosophy, poetry elements. So Alan Watts, I'm pretty sure it was Alan Watts. If it's not, then please do correct me. He said, imagine this. You go to sleep every night and you can dream whatever dream that you want to. I've had a fascination with astral projection and lucid dreaming for a long time, and having kept dream diaries for a long time, and found that to be a very special outlet for me. So of course, this whole dream world thing, it's got my attention. He said, okay, imagine that you can dream any dream that you want to dream, and you can dream years and years and years on end. Again, these are the types of movies, like plot lines, that I just love. That you fall into a dream and you live an entirely different life, or and depending on what kind of a dream it is, maybe you even dream that you've not only lived one lifetime, but maybe 2 or 3, where you more spiritual people with the whole karmic cycles and starseed collectives, and I mean, that's very, very exciting and new agey stuff. So what if you had this dream where you lived out 3 generations of time and then woke back up into your body? How I mean, trippy for sure, disorienting probably, very much so. And yet, as I listened to him, he goes, okay, so every night you're able to do this. You're able to dream on command. You're able to live whatever life you want. And he says, and this is where it gets pretty profound to me, and maybe to you as well, is where he says, eventually you will get to a point where what you dream is where the life that you're living now. And I thought, oh my goodness, it kind of froze me for a moment, because with all of my obsession with the whole law of attraction lifestyle methods of how to consciously attract, how to completely change your life, how to it's just this fascination with breaking the seal of what you believe is possible, what you believe is not possible, for better or for worse. This is, it's, you meet some interesting people and interesting philosophies, not everything you're going to agree with, stuff here, but that eventually, if this is, like, I'm so itchy. Oh my gosh. I might just blow my nose here for a second. Maybe it's because I'm nervous. Does that happen to you when you get nervous? Stage fright? Oh. Okay, pardon me. Okay, let's see if that helps. So, with dreams, this whole concept of, on some level, and I would say this is pretty key here, on some level, being able to consciously choose, and I'm going to use that consciously choose where your consciousness goes. And in the dream world, there's an amount of surrender that happens. Different for everybody, and this is very exciting just in and of itself. In and of itself, exciting. You know what? I'm still kind of debugging some of this tech stuff. Just realize not everything. Let me see if I can about chat. I may need to make sure that some of this gets saved, just in case. Oh, this is broadcasting. Okay. Oh, you know what? I did hit the video on demand bit. Okay. Well, good. I don't know how to use the highlights just yet. But we're figuring it out. We are figuring it out. Oh, okay. So the whole dream scheme here. If you can consciously choose to put your and experience your consciousness doing something very specific, and like in dream world there's an amount of surrender that I think happens on a different plane, in a different way than it does when we're conscious in our bodies and with all of our senses in how we live our everyday life. Ah, just so fascinated by this. Eventually, it would make sense according to Alan Watts, and it does make sense to me hearing it that way. It was able to sweep me up, and it felt inspirational. It made me want to hold on to that as a, you know, maybe so. Maybe so. That eventually we get to a place where the life that we're living exactly now, right now, is what we would dream up. Which leads me to another thought. Now, if I'm very much into watching like the romantic fantasy Asian dramas, mostly Chinese speaking, because I've logged several hours, many hours into the education and learning of Mandarin Chinese. And it's not perfect, but everybody's got to start somewhere, and we could totally talk about that and building up skills. It's totally relevant for all of your romantic renaissance needs of what is the rebirth that you are craving. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? I don't want to leave it like that, but I'm going to leave it like that. Who do you want to be? Who is the person that you want to be? In one of the, and you may know it, I'll just say it. So with Yang Mi and Mark Chow in the Eternal Love, or 10 Miles of Peach Blossoms, that one. It's like 63 episodes, 58 episodes, something like that. So it's quite, there's so many different character arcs that go on, and so many different things that you can see. And in this one particularly, there's the grief character arcs where they're going through the grief and the acceptance, and these are gods and immortals. But anyway, there's if you're familiar with Chinese fairy tales, Chinese legends, there is one very famous one, classical. It's in classical literature, called the butterfly, where this, I believe it's a couple, in their next life, they were star-crossed lovers, like a different version of Romeo and Juliet, where these star-crossed lovers in their next life, they became butterflies. And this story was referenced in this 10 Miles of Peach Blossom Eternal Love story, where the main, or the lead female romantic lead, the first female romantic lead, she's in grieving, she's sleeping a lot, and everyone who loves her is saying, we're so worried about you, and yet not really forcing her out of her cocoon, figuratively speaking, of the sleep and everything. But she's woken up, and she's kind of shaken off she's kind of moving through the grief in a different way, and she's hanging out with her brother, and they're talking about her habits with the sleep, and from memory, I'm recalling he's saying something like, is this really all that healthy? Should you be doing this? And her response was something like, is it the butterfly that dreams of being, like, she compares it to like this dream walking, this folded realities on each other. So I don't know. The whole dream world plane has always been a romantic place for me to go to. And I would love to talk more about that and how you and myself, how we may be using these this energy, we'll just call it energy, to create the change in the world we want to see. Or to really just feel like we are contributing to this life in the way that we intended to, or intend to. I say intended as this, like, maybe you believe in, like, predestination. Not everybody does. Not everybody does. I am very interested in hearing more life philosophies and all of this good stuff. So, this may be it for today. Monday thoughts. Just to wrap up here with some romantic Monday thoughts. How do you connect with the moon on Mondays? And this'll be a thought for me too. Relationship with time. Oops. The butterfly lovers story. Dream walking. Oops. Okay. What else? What else? Oh, yes, our relationship with time. So, Mondays. Moon Day. You know, Monday in and of itself has seemed to become a hustle day, a hustle culture day. Maybe less so, but you let me know. You let me know. What is a typical Monday like for you? What would be a typical, or okay, so what's a typical Monday like, and versus an ideal Monday? What's a typical Monday versus an ideal Monday? Now, how often, unless you're like a really new agey type person, or like the moon is just, right time, right place, right time, right place, right time sort of deal. How often is the moon part of your conversation? Monday, I mean, we follow almanacs and stuff like that. How often do you consider the moon in your Monday comings and goings, to's and froms? I'm curious for myself, and also, let's open conversation around it. This whole week, let's call it a getting to know the week sort of deal. I need to lock down a time that'll be consistent here. But for now, this is just an exploration of what's available. So if you are here, it's been lovely sharing some time and space with you, even if it's at a different time and space than I'm in. I'll check back to the chat, so please do feel comfortable to respond back to whatever conversations we're having here. And I'll see you tomorrow.